Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Talk with Antonio. I am your host Antonio, and today I will be doing a live interview right now with the great Jasmine Kohlbrenner. How are you?
Hi, good. How about you?
I'm good, man. Thank you for asking. So first of all, how is your work, and what is like? I've always wanted to ask you, since you're a big fan of physical media, what is it that really attracted to you in terms of like, what is it? Because a lot of people in this day and age, here in the age of the year 2025, people, it's all digital. It's all digital. And I've never been like into that. So, digital, it's okay, but it's like a double-edged sword to you. But so let me ask you, first of all, at what age did you discover physical media, and what attracted to you, Jax?
Well, I'm like a Gen Zer, so growing up, you had CDs, you had DVDs, the tail end of VHS tapes. My dad, he collected records and VHS tapes, and I guess the age that kind of like rediscovered or like came back to old media was I got like those into like those mini Polaroids in 2019, and like they were fine. I used it a lot, but then I had to get a new Polaroid because that one broke. So I went to my local, like, not antique store, but it's like a vintage store, and they had an 80s Polaroid like still in the box for a pretty good price. I think it was like maybe $40. So I got that, and then it was big and bulky, but I'd bring it everywhere and take Polaroids. And then I just that was kind of like the gateway of Polaroids, records, VHS tapes, just like kind of collecting physical media and digging up a lot of my dad's old physical media to have in my collection or to kind of revamp, because he would do a lot of those like home recordings with the VHS tapes. We didn't have sleeves, so I'd make custom sleeves for them in like Photoshop and
Oh, wow. Wow.
So, yeah,
Oh,
I also well. I don't think there was like an exact pinpoint that I can really remember. It was just kind of like a snowball effect from when I got the 80s Polaroid, and then it just snowballed into now where I have like a lot of old items, and I'd also collect old Halloween items. So like I had noisemakers. I think the noisemakers were from like the 70s, old paper mache decorations. I mean like 80s and 90s and 2000s Halloween decor. But the noisemakers are pretty old.
no. You know, the thing is, in terms of old stuff, it's unbelievable now, actually, now that I think about it. My mother used to say anything that's vintage is the best. And now that I'm much older, I absolutely think she's absolutely right. Because all the vintage stuff, it was more durable. It was more fun. I don't know, like in this day and age, I've noticed like in terms of the Halloween, there are certain things of Halloween that I do like. But then like later on, it's become just like boring and bland. Back then, they used to have like pour more emphasis, more hard work into it. Like you said about the whole vintage stuff of Halloween. Oh my God, I remember growing up. You go to, back then it was Thrifty. All these stuff, they were nice. And you know, and you mentioned about like your dad collecting old stuff. When I was growing up, I don't know if you remember hearing about Betamax.
Yeah, Betamax.
Okay. In terms of VHS was created by JVC. VHS was more longer, and they say that, I remember reading on the Sony website that Betamax was much better than VHS. But it was, I don't know if you remember how like a VHS, how it was a little bit more longer. It had more like it could record more. Beta was more shorter. If you remember that, I remember I saw on it was like years ago at I think it was at a Goodwill store, and they had a movie. I think it was Scarface 3, mind you, 3 Betamax tapes. I was like, oh my God. And you know, and you mentioned right now, like the whole thing of nostalgia is coming back. Okay, like not too long ago, I like to look at those old school, like little libraries, and I got two VHS tapes of Rush Hour 1 and Rush Hour 2, and even had the old school, like, the Blockbuster videotape. I'm like, oh my God. Whenever I saw that, and like VHS, I kind of had like a little bit of a love-hate relationship because the it was nice, but it had a tendency to ruin faster. Would you agree?
VHS tapes?
Yes.
I think compared to DVDs deteriorate faster than tapes. Tapes, you have that case.
Oh, really?
So they're more durable, whereas DVDs, it's easier for them to get scratched up and warp and just not last longer. I know another thing with tapes was mold, but since we live in California, that's not really an issue for us. That's more of like in more humid areas.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the tapes last. I mean, the ones my dad had was in the garage, like buried under a bunch of stuff, and they all still work fine, like perfectly fine.
Oh, because you mentioned that about records. That is the one thing that I never really, really liked because if you think you mentioned DVDs and CDs have like had deteriorated more. Vinyl records. I remember talking to my mom about this. She had like a couple of them, and one little tiny little scratch would ruin it. With CDs, I mean, I love CDs. I remember seeing right now if vinyls are coming back, that means that compact disc is on its way back. But people say, "Oh, compact disc is such a like a quote unquote old thing." And like my nephew, he was born in 2003, so he's a Generation C, and he found my old compact disc portable CD player, and he took it to school, and kids were making fun of him. But now it's not; it's a different story. Would you agree? Like, do you think like anything that has to do with like in the past is much better than this day and age?
Yeah, and also the whole point with nostalgia. Like, I think it really started with, I guess, millennial nostalgia and kind of reminiscing of better times, especially with, like, kind of distracting from the current, like, world situation, but also just distracting from adulthood. So the nostalgia just kind of uses an escape, and a lot of these old technologies, people are either digging up from, like, from their storage, or they're finding at thrift stores for very low pricing, and since they're old, they're more durable. So they actually work. Like, I found a Scooby-Doo plug and play.
Oh, I remember seeing that.
Yeah, and that was only $5 and everything still worked. Compared to, like, I think I got like a modern day record player, and that thing broke after like a week after getting it from the thrift store.
Really?
Yeah, it was like one of those suitcase looking record players.
Oh, no. Those are horrible. Those are horrible.
Yeah. So I think it's definitely the return of nostalgia. I heard that a lot of people are reverting back to physical or like older items in January 1st, kind of like a technological reset just due to burnout. And I mean, I'm behind it. I've already gotten like a head start.
But I believe it was Christopher Nolan who did an interview. I don't know if it was for a newspaper or something. I don't remember exactly, but if you look it up on Google, it'll pop up. Christopher Nolan, one of the greatest Hollywood directors of all time, he said this, to quote, "Buy physical media." And I was like, yep, I I completely agree with him. It's because, would you consider yourself anti-digital or no?
I feel like digital is good for preservation, but when it comes to watching things, like, say you're going to watch like a movie, I say physical is king because you own it. The thing with digital, with all the streaming services, is that if it goes away, there's really no, like, you don't own it. You buy the subscription, but a movie on Netflix can be gone in like a week. And then even, especially with the case with HBO, shows that were exclusive to the service are gone, and now there's no way to watch it because it wasn't like preserved, or well, legally preserved, I should say. So I feel like digital is definitely good for preserving older media. Like, I like to preserve old camcorder tapes of mine and just put on a hard drive. But it's just having that balance and it's like kind of like CGI. Like, CGI will never replace or look better than like a puppet or SFX, but using it to enhance the puppet or the SFX, and using it in moderation makes it a lot cooler. Like, like the new Five Nights at Freddy's movies, a combination of
Yeah.
puppets and VFX, and it looks great.
And the thing is, Jax, is that for me, for example, a lot of people like with millennials and Gen Z are like very pro like digital and not so much in terms of physical media. I, for one, I think differently. I don't like digital entirely. I'm not saying I hate it. No, I don't. I don't like it is because, like you said, it's good to preserve, but if you pay for it, and if it's gone, you don't own it. You just quote unquote rent it. And I remember hearing about this. My nephew, he loves. He has an Xbox, so I think a couple of years ago he showed me that he bought. You ever heard of Marvel vs. Capcom 2?
Yeah.
Okay, he bought it on Xbox on the store or something like that, and then he said it just disappeared, Uncle. I'm like, what happened? Didn't you pay for it? Apparently, but then right now, as I mentioned, that there's a lawsuit going on against Amazon Video because, like I was mentioning to you, a lot of people were saying that hey, I bought this movie, I bought this series. Why is it no longer here? I pay for it, and then it's like we were mentioning, like you technically, you bought it, but you don't own anything. You just bought the rights to it because once the rights expire, it's gone. And like you mentioned about HBO Max, it's digital. I would say it's like a double-edged sword to me because you have the side of you said you could preserve it, but on the other side of it, it's lousy if it goes away afterwards. Like you don't own anything. With physical media, you buy it and then it's yours. No one can take it away from you whatsoever. It's like me. I love. I still have my PlayStation 2 right here. I have Silent Hill 2. That's probably like one of my favorite video games of all time. And I bought it back in 2004. It was on a discount. I bought it at a Kmart here in Sherman Way. It was $19, but then I paid with the insurance and it was stuff, and then it was like for $50. But then as when COVID hit, it became more and more expensive. I saw one on eBay not too long ago, $300.
Wow.
I was like, what? Even my nephew was like, I could have got this game before, but once COVID hit and TikTok and all that stuff exploded, it just like ran out. Physical media is like it's the it now. And and you mentioned that people say, oh, it's gonna go away. It's not. It's coming, like you say, it's gonna going like a technology backwards, as you said it. It's coming back. I think it should be here to stay. But would you say if CDs are coming back? I mean, CDs are coming back. Vinyl came back. What do you think of the chances of VHS coming back?
So VHS actually is back. Alien Romulus, they released the VHS, like from 20th Century Fox. They put Alien Romulus in a limited edition VHS. So it technically is back, just more in, I guess, moderation or in kind of limited quantities. It's not obviously in the way how it was before, but it is slowly making a comeback from studios. I know Paranorman, Leica put Paranorman on tape and it's available on their website right now. And I think they get really creative with it. Like the Paranorman tape has like these green lightning bolts on the case of the tape itself. Like not the box art, like literally the tape has these designs on it. So VHS tapes are making a comeback. It's just more like slowly, but I wouldn't be surprised if it makes a more like almost every movie gets a VHS tape release, or in like how Steelbook. It would be kind of like the new Steelbook, where it has like these cool art, and it's kind of a more like higher luxury item. But it's a way to have like the movie in a physical media. And then, like you were saying, records and CDs. A lot of modern artists and movies are doing their content in CDs, in records, in cassette tapes. Like, Wicked, all of their songs are on. I go to Target, CDs, records, all these other physical media. So I don't think any of those are going away. And I'm glad that records are like back because of these modern artists putting their stuff on records.
Wow, that's I haven't really checked on that. CDs, like I personally like love CDs is because like, and also with DVDs, I've always I remember when DVD was still like in its prime, like in the early 2000s. I remember I was like, so like, where is it gonna come out? The first DVD that I ever bought was what movie it was? I think it was Tango and Cash. That back then the Warner Brothers had like a little snap book. That was so awesome. But I remember when DVDs was in its prime, I'm a big fan of Indiana Jones. I remember it took so long to release it, but then it's like, what happened? Like 98 came around, nothing. 99 came around, nothing. 2000, nothing. 2001, nothing. 2002, nothing. I was like, I think it was 2003 that came out. I was like, what was it taking so long? And they were saying that it's because Paramount was, when they were releasing on DVD, they had to clean it up. And if you compare the VHS tapes of Raiders of the Lost Ark and then the DVD, crisp clean. And I mean, I loved it. I mean, I paid like $50 for the complete DVD movie collection. And I remember it was like, oh my God, I waited so long. Then the following year came the big one, Star Wars, the original Star Wars, that is. I was like, oh my God. I remember I bought it at the Best Buy in Burbank. There was actually people lining up for the movie. You're like, oh my God, is it really that huge? Because, I mean, certain movies, classic movies, took a long time to release on DVD back then. And when Blu-ray came around, that one took a little bit longer. Like, for example, Scarface, I guess it took like at least like maybe like 4 years. Sorry, I could be wrong perhaps. But would you say that Blu-ray is still somewhat new? But do you think, like right now, every time I go to a 7-Eleven, I get a little sad when I see the old school red box. I'm like, oh my God, why did they shut it down? I believe that the company, I think, did it go out of business?
I think so. I do know that a lot of the red boxes, like, you can just get the movies. Like, if you select them, they just spit out the movies for you. You can keep it.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
But
it's in there. You can have it.
Oh my God! Oh my goodness! I don't know, because there is one right here near where I live on I think it's Osborne, and the machine is right there. And like, excuse my French, for shits and gigs, I decided to plug it in. It actually turned on, but there was nothing in there though. I was like, what the heck?
Free in LA is gone in like 20 seconds.
But you know, the thing is about physical media, like we were talking about, it's I don't know, there's something about it. Like I said, with digital, like I remember when Netflix was with DVDs. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was my Netflix. But then when it started going to a streaming service, I don't like it anymore. I for one, I still have, well, not anymore because we cut it off. I still have cable, well, satellite, that is. I don't know. People say you're too anti-streaming. I don't have Netflix. I don't have HBO Max. I don't have Peacock. I don't have none of the above. Well, I did have Peacock once upon a time just to watch a pay-per-view. But I don't know. Like, do you think streaming will completely take over in the future in terms of digital everything?
I think streaming already is taking over. It's just a matter of which services are going to survive. Like, I feel like Paramount is not going to survive.
Why do you say that?
Because Paramount Plus, its offerings aren't that good. Like, compared to, like, HBO. HBO has DC, Harry Potter. Disney has Marvel, Star Wars. Paramount has, like, SpongeBob, Sonic, stuff, Transformers, I think. Like, stuff that are... There's not a lot of variety, and there's not a lot of new content coming from this platform. It's kind of like the odd one out when it comes to, like, if you have, like, line up all the streaming services, you see what they offer. Paramount seems the most lackluster, and it's also the one where it joined latest, like the later of the streaming services, and also it just, the content on there doesn't stay there for long. Like, I know they had, like, a Fairly Odd Parents sitcom. I think that was only on there for like a year, and that was exclusive to Paramount, and it was only there for like a year or less than a year.
It's gone already?
Yeah, now it's gone. It's like, I'm pretty sure it's like on a pirating app now, but
oh my
legally
God,
you can't watch it anywhere.
But you know, the thing is with old school shows like that, Paramount, like it's obvious is Nickelodeon. I think it was like I was looking around, and certain shows are not there.
Yeah.
Like for example, hold on. Let me get back to you on that one. Okay, HBO Max. Does it have still have Cartoon Network there?
No. So the crazy thing with HBO Max is that even though it has all these big IPs like Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, when it comes to its cartoons, they just all got shafted to Hulu or other streaming platforms that isn't its home platform, HBO Max. The only cartoon like from Cartoon Network that it has is I think, well, it has Fiona and Kate because that's where it airs, and then maybe like a small, like a very small amount of Cartoon Network shows, but all of them, like the rest of them, I think even including Looney Tunes, went to Hulu.
Isn't Hulu a combination of both Disney and Universal?
So it is Disney now, like it's on Disney Plus. It was Fox and Disney.
Oh, okay.
But now Hulu's technically gone and just engulfed into Disney Plus.
Wow, I didn't know that because I was looking at certain things in terms of streaming. I remember, like you said about like Looney Tunes, it's gone now. I remember reading this on Yahoo. That's where this comes in. Physical media. I believe in Amazon. I mean, I don't shop at Amazon. Amazon still sells the DVD of the Looney Tunes collection. There you go, right there. That's what I always say. Physical media is always going to be best because you mentioned about how they the Looney Tunes went elsewhere. That's the thing I don't like about digital because it goes elsewhere. What is it? Pluto, I believe. Tubi, or is it called Tubi? I believe
the free one, yeah, Tubi.
Yeah, Tubi. I mean, like I said, I don't like it. I don't like streaming. I don't like the whole digital stuff. And like you mentioned about certain cartoons, I remember hearing on, I believe it was, I read on Reddit, I'm sorry. And they were talking about like the old school cartoons. There was this one that it was missing on the list. It belonged to the cartoon series. Do you remember a cartoon named Johnny Bravo?
Yeah.
What's your opinion on that cartoon, honestly?
It was a little bit before my time, but I did watch a little bit of it. I mean, I didn't think much of it. It was just a cartoon. I know, like, the whole point was that Johnny wasn't, like, the best person, but he learns and he grows throughout the series. And yeah, I know that it's not on, I think it's on Hulu now. I know it's not on HBO.
Let me see. It's, Johnny Bravo. Let me see. Johnny Bravo. Okay. Johnny Bravo is actually on YouTube, Fandango, I believe, Amazon Prime, and Apple TV. Oh, I completely forgot. Apple's also on the list here. It says here, and also here, we're talking about Reddit. It says here that where can I watch Johnny Bravo? It says here, as of right now, the only legal place to watch Johnny Bravo, you have to purchase it. It is only available on Amazon Prime Video. Of course, the only problem is only season 1. Cartoon Network did not want to push Johnny Bravo, even though it is a Cartoon Network original. I mean, there's always been like rumors about that cartoon. Like I remember watching it growing up. I was never really a fan of it. I'll be frank with you. But in terms of like old school cartoons like this, Cow and Chicken, it's not even available. That's another cartoon I've never actually seen appear on physical media. I love Cow and Chicken. Do you remember that one?
I remember. I didn't watch it, but I do remember it.
Oh, Cow and Chicken was awesome. What else? Dexter's Laboratory. Scooby-Doo. I don't think it's. I think is it available on physical media?
Yes. For sure, Scooby-Doo. Yes, my dad has the original series on like full complete collection. And then tapes. There's like a million Scooby-Doo tapes. Of the modern day Scooby-Doo, like 2010s, I have a bunch on DVD. What's New? That's What's New Scooby-Doo. Mystery Inc. I think might have a DVD set because that was 2010s, and the 2010 shows usually got DVD sets. But post 2010s, like Be Cool Scooby-Doo or Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, I don't think have physical copies.
I do remember certain things that this is another problem with physical media I did notice growing up. Okay, when I was growing up, I remember I had it once upon a time, but as we move, we when we pack our stuff, we tend to lose things. I remember I used to have the old school WrestleMania tapes from WrestleMania 1 up until 2013, I believe. I don't remember exactly. But if I remember correctly, and all the old school WrestleManias, they had music intact. However, though, once DVD came into the picture, I remember now it's WWE released WrestleMania, the complete anthology, and all the music was, I think they just dubbed it. I was like, what's the difference between VHS and DVD? I was like, why are they dubbing the music? And come to find out that they didn't want to pay royalties on the music. I was like remember they had Cyndi Lauper, they had Mr. T, all these other guys, celebrities, but in terms of music, they had like I believe I forget which it was, but once DVD came out, it was dubbed. It was like another version. I remember they released it on pay-per-view, Enter Sandman with Metallica, but once they came out on DVD, it was dubbed something else. I was like, that's another thing. Like in terms of if you use like a pirate or a licensed music, you have to pay royalties on that. That's the one thing I was like, I remember seeing that about physical media, but it was mostly on DVD. It's like do you remember hearing a series that took, oh my God, probably like years to release on physical media? Do you remember a series called The Wonder Years?
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
You should watch it. You will be hooked on that series. I remember watching it when I was a kid here and on Channel 11. But in terms of physical media, they only did release like a couple of episodes on VHS, but the music was dubbed. And then I remember when they finally released it on DVD after probably like X amount of years. I don't remember when it came out, but the music was intact because they finally had to pay the royalties to the disc labels. And here's another example of a series that took, oh my God, it was years to release on DVD. Do you remember the original Batman?
The animated series?
No, the series, I'm sorry. The 1960 series.
Yeah.
That one took years to release it. I was like, what the heck is going on? They never re-released it on VHS growing up. But then I kind of found out when they released it on DVD. Did you know it was actually a combination of both Warner Brothers and then at that time who owned Batman was 20th Century Fox?
Yes, they still own the TV rights to Batman.
And is it streaming on anywhere?
I'm not entirely sure when it comes to the Adam West one. I guess the best bet would either be HBO or Hulu. But that was also the case with Gotham, which was a 2010s Batman show.
I remember.
Because most of the DC shows were on CW, which was owned by Warner, but Gotham was on Fox because it was owned by the TV rights for Batman was owned by Fox. So unless Fox, I don't know, like resolve something with Warner, then they'll always have the TV rights for Batman.
Oh wow! That in terms of Gotham, that I do know because with Batman the Animated Series, oh my God, I consider that one of the greatest animated shows of all time. I remember that's another one that took many years to release it on DVD, on physical media per se. Because when they released, like they only released like certain DVDs that had like a certain episodes, but in terms of like the actual show, it came out in 2005. Oh my God! I remember I went to Best Buy to buy it. Sold out in an hour. I mean, do you have the DVD of Batman the Animated Series?
I don't know if my dad does, but I don't. My dad might, but I watched it when it was on HBO, like I think in like 2020.
Oh my God. Did it release it on HBO?
It was. I'm not sure if it still is on there now, but back when HBO was actually good, it was on there.
Oh my God. Like in terms of, you mentioned that it was good, HBO. I love the old school HBO, but I was more of a Cinemax type of guy. Mm-hmm. Cinemax was, I think that was actually their answer to the movie channel, because HBO was originally the first one, but then they came out with the movie channel, but then HBO was like, we got to fix this. So they released Cinemax in 1979. That was like even before our time. Yeah, but okay, but back to the physical media. Okay, what's another series do you remember that it never ever came out on physical media because of some reason?
A lot of modern a lot of modern shows aren't on physical media. I remember, I mean, it's also a matter of like merchandising. Back in like the 2010s and before, toys and physical like media or stuff were very common. Like they were like a dime a dozen, but nowadays a show has to be really successful for them to be merchandised.
Huh.
Like one in particular that I think of as Infinity Train. That was a Cartoon Network show from I think 2019. It was on Cartoon Network, then it got moved to Max, HBO Max, and then it got canceled. It was really good. It never had any physical releases, and now it's like legally you can't watch it anywhere. It's only you can only pirate it because of just how much they gave that series the shaft. But there was like I bet like a kid or someone growing up might consider that as like lost media in the future because of how little it was documented.
Wow, I did not know that. And see that's where I see. I think it should be released like in physical in some sort of physical media. So, well, like you said, it won't be lost media, because even there's physical media. Universal has documented in certain movies that has become lost media, and that's my biggest fear with digital. That is my biggest fear. Just imagine if a series was pretty good, but it was only on for a short time, and then they just don't know where it is. It's become lost media, and that's the one thing I don't agree with digital.
Luckily, I feel like we're in a good day and age as to where even though things aren't documented from the company, it's documented by the fans or by, the common person. Like with YouTube, with pirating apps, in some way, it will be remembered in the modern, like anything modern, it will be remembered because there's like this whole kind of not trend, but like this wave of people looking for lost media, trying to uncover lost media. My friend, he's a big Shrek fan. He likes to document and uncover like lost Shrek items, either toys or media or something, so it has a place on the internet to be remembered. And I feel like that's, I guess, you're saying double-edged sword. This is like the positives of, even though, it's very like short, its lifespan, people preserve it, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's in their own like pirated DVD or pirated VHS. In some form, someone has or will keep it or like document it.
Uh-huh.
So when all the servers die and the internet is no longer, there's still remembrance of the series or of the content that the studio could care less about.
Well, now that you put it that way, it's good, because this is another thing I don't like about the digital age. I don't think, if my memory serves correctly, I've never, in the years I used to go to Best Buy to buy DVDs all the time, I never once saw it there, or is it even available in digital? Do you remember the Phantom of the Opera, the original Phantom of the Opera?
Like the one from like the black and white one?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, they have had it on DVD. Like Universal Monsters are very heavily documented. Like I have it on tape. My dad has them on DVD.
Wow.
At least with the monsters, I could guarantee that they are very, very well documented in physical media.
Because I do remember going there. I was always looking for, like, I like old school, like you said, Universal Monsters. But the Lon Chaney version, I always like. There's something about it that I don't know what it is that's so. Even though I never really sat down and watched a silent film, but the Phantom of the Opera, I remember like watching clips on YouTube. I was like, and then they showed the face of the Phantom, like, oh my god, that is so creepy. But in terms of like getting it, no, I never actually saw it. I was like, well, what's up with that? And you know why? It's because another thing, go buy it online. I was like, okay, that's another thing. I'm like a little hesitant to go to, because me personally, if I want something on DVD or something, I want to go in person and buy it. Mm-hmm. That's just me right there. Yeah. It's like you, when you like to go buy stuff that you like, for example, like a little Scooby-Doo game. I mean, it's fun. It's like you enjoy it. But with online, you just go, okay, you get it. It's not the same. Would you agree with me though?
For sure. I love toy hunting and like going on hunts that's why I gave you that list of like physical media stores.
Yes, ma'am.
Because sure they would have Phantom there, and if not, I think Walmart they I don't know if they still do, but they would have like a collection of classic horrors. Like I don't know, I know they do the slashers like Freddy and the slashers, but I think they might still do Universal Monsters around Halloween time. They have those like DVD collections where they have like all the Freddy movies, all the Halloween movies, all the Gremlin movies. So I would say if you're unable to find them at those physical media stores that I gave to you, then check Walmart during Halloween time.
Okay.
Hopefully they'll have it. But I'm pretty sure you'd find it at one of those stores because at least with Video Hero has like every VHS tape imaginable. I literally found one of the most rarest, nichest tapes I didn't even know this tape existed, and they had it there. So I would definitely recommend checking out the stores. And then even if you aren't able to find it there, you can just talk to the workers and they will let you know if they find it or have it for sale in the future.
Which was the rarest tape you found?
So the one that I found, it was called Deep Red Hatchet Murders. It's the American release of an Italian slasher film. I made my own like pirated copy of it on tape a while back, and my dad had it too when he was a kid, or when he was younger, not a kid. This is a rated R film, but I saw on their Instagram they posted that they got like the actual non-bootleg official tape, and I looked on eBay. There's like one listing, and it's like really bad condition. Like it's color damaged. It's just really bad condition, and the rest of them are similar. Like they're in a clamshell case and not a sleeve. The one I found was a sleeve.
Oh wow!
So that was really rare. The price was steep, but I had a lot of store credit, so I got it for like half off, which was really nice.
I'll bet it costs a pretty penny. But if it's something that you really was looking for, it's worth every penny. That's something I completely understand you.
Yeah, and it's my favorite movie of that director. It's Dario Argento. He did Suspiria, if you know that movie. But he's an Italian director and did a bunch of Italian horror, slasher, more like slasher thriller horror films in the 80s, 70s, and like he still makes movies today, but they're not that good because past is fun.
Yeah, it's completely understandable because like you mentioned these stores, and you're right. Nostalgia is making a huge comeback. And I would say that, I mean, my mom absolutely loves vintage stuff. In terms of like electronics, anything vintage is much, much better. Like me, for example, I still have my PlayStation 2. It still works, but I know I have to get it serviced because over time, certain electronics, I think like the circuit breakers or something tend to go bad, or they just mess up your machines. That's why I gotta go get it fixed. But you mentioned like the VHS. One of the rarest VHS tapes. I'm sorry. I saw on eBay. That was such a long time ago. Beta. I'm sorry. It was a Star Wars. Oh my god. I saw the price. The price, Jax. It was. Let's just say it's like $400.
Wow.
Just because it's Star Wars, and also because it's the original, not special edition, and also it was back then it was by 20th Century Fox. Because like right now everything is Disney has like alter it. They remove all this stuff. Like this is what I always say to my friends. Anything vintage is much, much better than what they do with the new ones. Like when they re-release the stuff, like Disney re-released the old school Star Wars. They took out like the old school 20th Century Fox
logo.
Yeah, and all that stuff. It's not the same anymore. It's like with I don't even remember they released physical media of the new Star Wars. Did they?
Just up until what was the last one? Phantom? No, the Revenge of the Sith. No, yeah, that's the last of the prequels, right?
Revenge of the Sith. Yes.
Yeah, Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, that was like the last ones, but all the Disney ones, no, they haven't made a new modern VHS tape until, like I said, the Alien Romulus one. At least to my knowledge. I'm pretty sure there was a couple like indie films or like like low, but of a major studio, I think it was Alien Romulus that made the comeback.
I saw on Instagram, because like in this day and age, everything is with commercials. There, I saw on Instagram right now that they're re-releasing The Thing on VHS, and I saw the price was like $50. I was like, that makes sense, But The Thing, I was like, oh my god, that's a movie I have not seen it in ages, And you said everything is making a huge comeback, and I'm so happy about that. But you mentioned about like rare titles. Do you think when all physical media comes back, like say VHS, DVD, Blu-ray is still new, but let's talk about like the old school, like VHS and DVD. Do you think they will ever re-release like rare titles that has never been released on physical media?
I hope so. I hope that they do. It really just depends on how well the original stuff on tape does. I do hope they either bring something from the archives or shows that we're on streaming but now no longer aren't. I feel like they're starting off with movies, so hopefully older movies get some love, or movies that are kind of lesser known get some love. But one can only hope that everything gets put on physical one way or another sometime in the future.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, right now with physical media, I've actually seen it on OfferUp, I see it on eBay, I see it on even a Facebook Market. People are actually selling their old VHS Disney movies, and that right there is a gold mine right there, because now we live in a different era. All the old school like Disney stuff has been edited, or to put it this way, some have never even been released on streaming because of the contents. Like for example, I remember when it first came out in 1999, but then it just stopped and they didn't release it until probably like in the mid 2000s. Do you remember the movie Pinocchio?
Yeah.
Pinocchio is, I consider, one of Disney's greatest masterpiece. But if you strongly remember the movie correctly, like the contents that they had, I believe that's very, very dark. If you catch my drift, would you say? What would you say about that?
Yeah, I'm surprised they kept a lot of the elements in the ride still.
Have they?
They still kept Pleasure Island, the donkey stuff.
Ooh.
Mr. Toad, you're still going through hell, so I guess.
Oh my goodness!
I got the makeover.
Because I have not been to Disney. When was the last time I was in Disney? Back in 2016, and I haven't rode that ride since forever. But in terms of like Disney, like in the physical media, like they would re-release on their streaming site, but they would edit and all that stuff. Like for example, with Lady and the Tramp. Do you remember the cat scene with the Siamese cats? In the old school, they still have it, and the new and on the streaming service, they just edit it out. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing is
Peter Pan, right, with the natives.
Yes, that's another one. Peter Pan is another masterpiece, and because that was a different era, how they described Native Americans as Redskins, which in my opinion, even back then when I was a kid, I thought that was kind of messed up, calling them like that, and how they describe and living in teepees with the high feathers. That's a little bit stereotypical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still have that in the ride.
Yes. Oh my God. That's another thing. Like they still have that on the ride, but they were released.
They might have changed it very recently. Like pretty recently, they changed it. I don't know if it was here or in Florida or both, but somewhere they changed it, and then people got mad about it. And I'm like, why? It's not that big of a deal. Like it was wrong to begin with.
Exactly. Exactly. It's just like times are changing. And like, it's like, for example, with physical media of Looney Tunes on VHS back then, they would even sell back in bootleg stuff. And I saw some certain things that I was like, oh my goodness, that's pretty messed up if you ask me. Like for, what was it? Back in 1999, they released it they had a commercial. It was called The Band 11 on DVD. And I was like, it had like the 11 cartoons of Looney Tunes that were banned, even forever appearing on any type of physical media streaming. Oh, you can even forget about streaming. It would never see the light of day. Up until that time, they released it on DVD. It was called The Band 11. Look it up. And I was like, oh my God, I remember seeing this commercial so much. But now, because of the magic of YouTube, you could watch it. But it was like, oh my God, like, are you serious? This was acceptable back in the day? It's like with Tom and Jerry. I've never actually seen a physical media DVD of Tom and Jerry at all. Do you remember?
Tom and Jerry, I know that they had like the modern movies with them, but the old ones I just remember watching on Cartoon Network or Boomerang.
But I've never seen it on DVD at all or any VHS. Have you?
I would assume that it exists. It's just a matter of like finding them.
There's like a lot of old school cartoons I never even saw it on physical media. What's another example? They released it, but not like the entire season. Excuse me. Like, for example, Woody Woodpecker. Never seen it on physical media at all.
I think I've seen Woody. I've also seen Rocky and Bullwinkle. There's a lot of that.
Oh, Rocky and Bullwinkle. How could I forget about that? What's another one? Underdog. Have you ever seen it appear on physical media?
I feel like it has, because I know a lot of Hanna-Barbera stuff was put on physical media, not only on tape, but also on VHS. They would have a lot of like collection tapes. I just went to Open Book in Topanga, and they have a whole Hanna-Barbera section. So I got, they had like 5 different Johnny Quest tapes.
Oh my God, Johnny Quest.
Cats, Scooby-Doo, Yogi Bear, Flintstones. I tried to get like one of each. I think I got one of each except for Jetsons. I need to get Jetsons, but
that was on the show.
They have like a whole Hanna-Barbera section with like 2 shelves worth of tapes.
But in terms of Hanna-Barbera, yes, you're absolutely right. I think it was in 2000 they released the Jetsons on DVD, but I didn't even know at that time that the Jetsons was only made one season. But I believe it was in the 80s. I think Hanna-Barbera released more seasons, and that was added to the only season that they released back in the 60s. Do you remember that?
When I was a kid, I didn't know the concept of like seasons and episodes. I just watched whatever aired or whatever I had. Like, I literally had the entire Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers series on DVD.
Oh, wow.
I only watched like 2 episodes, but I just watched them repeatedly. Because I just was like, I didn't realize that there were more episodes. I just thought it was those episodes on the first disc.
Oh wow, Chip and Dale. But Disney has a tendency to make certain cartoons and then they just stop. Like, I don't remember one of my favorite cartoons growing up. They released it on VHS, but it was just like random episodes. It wasn't really like the entire series. DuckTales, not the newer one, the original one. I love DuckTales. That's, to this day, it's one of my favorite Disney cartoons. But I've never actually seen it released like in the entire series. Or I could be wrong, perhaps.
I for sure they have. If they did for Rescue Rangers, they for sure did for DuckTales. I see a lot of DuckTale tapes at the stores I go to.
Yeah. I had like a couple of them. It was just like random episodes. The other cartoon that I never... you're right. I could be wrong. It could be DuckTales on DVD, but the one that I never saw come out at all was Darkwing Duck, and I consider that one of Disney's most underrated cartoons.
It's funny. I was really thinking, are you gonna say Darkwing Duck? Because I just saw the DVD collection at Open Book.
No way.
Yeah, I think they have. I'm not sure if it's like it was like a DVD. I just don't know if it was like season 1 or like volume 1. But yeah, they did have it at the Topanga Open Book.
I gotta go. I love Darkwing Duck, and it was one of my favorites. Very underrated, if you ask me. Mm. And now going from Disney to Nicktoons. Okay, I bought this, and it cost me like $40 on DVD, the entire series, and I consider it one of. I was speaking to my nephew about this. That's probably one of Nicktoons' most underrated of all time. All Real Monsters. Do you remember that one?
I do. I worked at Midsummer, and the costume contest, I was working that, and the winners of last year was of, I don't know their names, but it's of the striped character and the purple
Oblina. Oblina's a striped one.
And then the purple one?
Does it look like a bunny rabbit?
Yes.
That's Ickis.
Yes, so those two, the people were dressed up as those 2 characters, and they won the costume contest.
Oh, That's awesome. But they forgot one character though out of
I
the
know
three. The one who
the
had
three
Crumb.
kids.
He had his eye in his hand. His name was Crumb. It was like, even my folks was like, "What is that monster?" they was like, "That is like the most idiotic cartoon of all time." No, it's not a cartoon. It's a Nicktoon. And in terms of Nicktoons, they released that on DVD. I haven't. I never get bored. I watch it all the time. The one Nicktoon I never saw come out on physical media, but when it was Nickelodeon at that time, was Doug. Do you remember that one?
Yes, so Doug had a weird copyright thing with between Nick and Disney. So I think they had like a majority of seasons on Nick, but then like another season on Disney. So there was like a weird rights issue. So I'm not sure if that affected the physical media output, but I do know that affected the merchandise output.
Yeah, because I remember in 1999 they released brand new spanking Doug on Disney on ABC at that time. I didn't like it at all. I hated it. It was not the same as the Doug that I watched on Nickelodeon. It was actually like probably like one of my favorite another Nicktoon that's underrated. I never saw the light of day in terms of like DVD or even VHS. And they did release VHS, but it was just like random episodes. But in terms of series, like you said, it all comes down to the rights, and it's just like ugh. It was a huge issue. But I never saw it come out. The other thing that I never saw come out on VHS, but they did come out on DVD. It was a Nickelodeon show. It was Are You Afraid of the Dark? Do you remember that one?
Yes, I do have one of the tapes from the Are You Afraid of the Dark? I think they had 2 or 3 tapes of it, but I have one of them. They also had the remake that came out 2019.
Yes.
Which all of them have DVDs. I've seen them all at Barnes & Noble. I don't know if the original has DVDs or like a complete collection, but I know they have tapes because I have one of those tapes.
Keep it. That's gold right there. Because I remember also when VHS, Nickelodeon and every side, because I saw you, I remember you show it to me, Snick. Mm-hmm. That was also like one of my favorite things to watch on TV back in the day and Saturdays. Snick. I remember the other. It was like years ago. I was at a thrift store and I saw VHS of Snick. I was like, oh my goodness, this is something that I grew up with watching, you know. And I'm glad but like right now when I went back, they got rid of all the VHS tapes and any type of like even the DVDs are like slowly being phased out. I was like, but like right now, like you said, since VHS is coming back, I think the certain whatchamacallit, the thrift stores, they have to rethink of what they have to do, because I've seen a lot of people like going, oh, I'm going to go to the thrift store and find some old school physical media stuff.
Going to the thrift store is very much like a gamble. Most of the time at the thrift store, I don't really find anything that interesting when it comes to tapes. It could just be because I'm looking for specific tapes. But at least in LA, like my go-tos are just VHS stores because they're curated by, you know, VHS collectors and people. Like they also just have, you know, they focus on tapes, whereas thrift stores, tapes are just a small section of the store. So I would definitely recommend going to the tape stores because also they have such a vibe. Like the one in Burbank, Be Kind Video.
Yes.
The carpet is like an old arcade style.
Oh my god, I can tell like just by the way you're describing it, you can tell it has like a vibe that's like it'll transport you back in the 1980s, like when I was a kid, 90s. It's like going to the video store like right now will feel like, wow, it's like going back in time. It's like when Blockbuster was the king for a time. Mm-hmm. I remember like let me ask you this, on Be Kind Video, when you go into the store, does it have like that popcorn smell?
It doesn't have a popcorn smell, but they do have video rentals, so it does have like that Blockbuster rentalness to it. And I think they have snacks, if I recall, but it doesn't smell like popcorn. I think it just smells like a normal store.
Yeah, because when I used to go with my dad to go rent movies, I remember once you opened the door, it had like this weird, like this popcorn, like it had like this buttery smell. Even my dad was like, it smells pretty good here. It's because of the snacks. Like, I don't know if because of what they were selling there, but Even my father was like, "Yeah, it smells pretty good here." Yeah, it's just like, like now that you mentioned all these video stores, I'm glad that they exist now. I'm glad that they are making a huge comeback.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad that they're not far from where I live.
Oh no, no, no. And like right now it's like, what do you think? Okay, I do know that they released the original Five Nights at Freddy movie on physical media. What do you think of the chances of appearing on part 2 on physical media right now?
They already have the steelbook for sale, so they are. I think all modern movies still are released on DVD, and especially steelbook, because steelbook is, I guess, the more like collectible version of DVD. I personally get them on tape, so like I before I learned how to make my own tapes, I would purchase them from like small businesses that make custom tapes. So I do have the first one on VHS, but yeah, for sure, like I already saw the steelbooks up for pre-order, so there's all modern movies still get that physical treatment. It's just a matter of like how much. Is it just a DVD? Is it just a Blu-ray? Or is it steelbook? Is it like Alien Romulus and have a VHS tape? It's just how far do they want to go when it comes to physical media?
Yeah, because with Blu-ray, that's still new. That's still going around, but I don't see it as much as it was like in the mid 2000s, I believe, because I remember when in the I think it was 2006, I believe, again, we went back to the 1980s, the format war between, how in the 80s, or you've heard about, it had the VHS wars between VHS and Beta. And in the mid 2000s, it had Blu-ray versus HD DVD. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I remember hearing that certain movies were releasing on both HD DVD and Blu-ray. But then I believe it was Paramount who decided just to stick with HD DVD. But what really was the death knell for HD DVD was when Warner Brothers decided to go with Blu-ray and stop supporting HD DVD. But I don't know, did you ever notice the difference, or do you think there was something different between the two formats of Blu-ray and HD DVD?
I never really noticed a difference. My dad would always tell me like he prefers Blu-ray, but I just prefer DVDs. It was cheaper, it was easier, and most DVD players are more readily available than Blu-ray players. I still collect DVDs. I don't really care for Blu-ray. I feel like now it's like Blu-ray versus Steelbook, because if you want to pay that extra dollar for like a higher quality format, you might as well just get the best, like the cream of the crop, which is Steelbook, and you get a cool little case that keeps it more preserved for long periods of time.
And mentioned Steelbook. I like right now, like the DVD that I have. This is like my most favorite. It's like my comfort movie. I love Halloween 2. I've seen the Blu-ray, and actually, people say it's the same thing. No, it's not. The DVD has like that more like authentic, like sound. Well, as the Blu-ray is like more advanced, more like much better sound. Which is like, I don't know. I prefer like like you said, the old-fashioned DVD. Yeah. And like I said, do you think we'll ever fade away for good?
DVD, no, I don't think so. It's the most compact way to preserve media, even though they don't last as long as tapes. It is the most compact way, and especially with people finding even more compact ways to preserve their DVDs, I don't think it's going to work. It's also cheap. Like it's cheaper to make, so it's like a fail-safe for all movies to at least just have a DVD.
And it's funny that the history of DVD, like to you, what does DVD stand for?
I don't know what it stands for.
It has two meanings. The original one is digital versatile disc and digital video disc. Mm-hmm. And I was my dad. He's like a little bit of he tells me a little bit of the history of certain formats, but video CD was already has appeared way before DVD came out into existence. Because if you remember, I remember going into swap meets when I was a kid. They were already releasing like movies like Latino, like in the Hispanic community. They had like movies on VCD. I was like, what the heck is this? I've never seen this before. And VHS was still was still running at that time. But then in 1993, they were trying to release the MMCD. It was called the Multimedia Compact Disc. It was backed obviously by Sony and Philips, and the other one was the Super Density Disc. It was backed by, I remember I have the list right here. It says Toshiba, Matsushita Electric, which is Panasonic, JVC, Thomson, and even what is it? Warner Brothers, Time Warner. It was backed by them, but then it says here on my notes that they wanted to release the two formats, but I believe it was a certain company or whoever it was had to intervene and say, "Hey, we don't want to see another format war that happened back in the 80s," because they say that when Betamax ceased to exist, Sony lost a lot of money because of the VHS created by JVC. And they say that in my notes here, it says that Philips and Sony decided to, in their best interest, to put their differences aside and combine their technology, all of them, the companies together, and that's when they created DVD. And if you remember, the first DVD that came out was Twister. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite movies of all time. And that was the first movie that ever came out for DVD. And I remember DVDs were like $30 or $40 at that time. When it first came out, I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, I don't have any more DVD players anymore, but when Sony released the PlayStation 2, it was also a DVD player. And that also was both a video game and a DVD player. So that's why, in terms of like sales, Sony was doing well. Would you agree?
You have to pay more just for a DVD port or disc port.
And it's funny that back then, Sony was the king in terms of like selling DVD players, because a lot of DVD players were like $300 at that time. I was like, oh my god! But that was like the technology at that time. Mm-hmm. I mean, which DVD player do you still have from back then?
I have a VHS DVD like combo one. I think it's from Sony, but yeah, it's like a silver one. And then I also have it was another one. It was like a similar thing, a VHS DVD player, but the DVD player stopped working.
Oh no! I think you can still get it fixed.
Yeah, it's just the thing that opens up is broken.
Oh, okay.
The big gear.
Oh my goodness! It's like I still have my VHS player. It's a ProScan. It's been working since 1998. Of course, I get it cleaned though, because it's like the what is it, the thing that plays the tape. That we have to get it clean because it accumulates dust and all that stuff. Yeah. But physical media, like you said, VHS, it's making a comeback, and that actually makes me very, very happy.
I'm glad. I'm glad also that it's coming back.
Like, what were your parents would say that certain things are making a comeback?
I feel like my parents aren't really aware of, I guess, like the cultural landscape. Like my dad is like he kind of wonders why I like a lot of old physical media. He's more definitely like the new age, like 4K digital age. Like he's even though he used to be like into physical media, he's also like he progresses with the times. Like he embraces the new age. So
oh wow.
They just let me do what I want with the whole physical media thing. It's
like me. I have to adapt to change. Times are changing. It's understandable, but me, I really have a hard time to adapt to certain things. Like with your dad, that he's more adaptable to like the digital era. Good for him. I respect that. Me personally, I'm still like reluctant on that. I don't like it. It's just, I don't know. I just not really into the whole streaming thing. Physical media, like I said, like both you and I agree, it's the best thing, because once, like I said it before, once you buy it, it's yours. No one can take it away from you. You can watch it as many times as you want. With digital, you can't do that. Yeah. Give me one second. Sorry about that. Yeah, like I said, back to what we're talking about in terms of physical media. What are the things in terms of the pros and cons? You mentioned the pros and cons of DVDs. What do you think of the pros and cons of VHS?
Well, the pros is definitely like shelf life. It lasts a long time. Unless you're in like a humid area, then you don't have to worry about mold. But even if your tape does get mold, there are cleaners that VHS collectors have created and sell online to clean the tape, to restore the tape. They're the only, I guess, like the only downside is the size. It's very bulky. They take up a lot of space very quickly. And obviously, unless you know how to make your own custom tapes, your options are limited to like early 2000s and below. But I know, like, luckily a lot of I guess bootleg or like VHS tape creators are more readily available with sites like Etsy and just other small businesses, and they're not super expensive either. Like they're like maybe $25, if not like a little bit more than $25. But
That's not bad.
yeah, so I definitely think that the pros outweigh the cons, and that the cons can be, other than space, the cons can be resolved pretty easily.
And you're right about that. The thing with DVD is like with CD, it scratches very easy, just like with vinyl. But with the thing is with DVD or CD, I seen on YouTube that they have like these machines that they polish it and they just leave it like brand spanking new. It works. The thing is with I've always had like a little bit of an issue with vinyl. It's just like one teeny tiny scratch will ruin the entire thing. And that's the one thing I never really liked about vinyl. And it's making a comeback. I was like, really? I was like, I don't know. That's just me. I was never really a fan. I still am not a fan of vinyl. I prefer cassettes.
Cassettes, yeah.
Cassettes, I prefer that. And also there was one, my mom, I don't know if you remember hearing about this. I think it was like during your parents' time, my parents' time also. It was like similar to CD, but it was kind of like a cassette on steroids. Do you remember hearing about 8-tracks?
I've heard about it, yes.
My mom says that when you install the tape, the cartridge into the player, you could press a certain button and it skipped the song, like kind of like a CD was. With cassette, you had to rewind and you had to fast forward. And my mom was like, I never liked cassette. I never liked cassette. I mean, I do like cassettes, you know. I thought they were revolutionary, you know. But in terms of 8-track, oh my God. I remember I've seen like when the old school radio stations, they used to have it called cartridge or carts. Like, and now it's all digital. But certain radio stations, I've been here, there's a radio station here, and I think it's in Northern California. This old dude uses a radio station, but he uses the old-fashioned way, with carts and with vinyl. Nothing digital. The only thing digital is obviously the computer, but in terms of putting music, nothing is digital. That goes the same thing with physical media. Like he puts music and all of it with carts and with vinyl.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the reach comes over here.
Yeah, I believe so, because right now, in this day and age, I've been looking on websites and all that stuff. You could create your own radio station, and you can even like just connect it to your CD player. And I've even seen people on YouTube that they have their own pirated radio station, but there's a risk of you getting caught by the FCC, I believe. And all these people use like physical media, like music. They put like music they have never played on the radio station or anything like that. And as I said before, physical media again.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, oh my God, I can go on and on and on about physical media, Jax. Yeah, there's just something about it. It's like, I don't know what it is that's I don't know. What do you think?
About physical media?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I love physical media. I love having something physical. You know, like instead of searching your phone or the streaming app for like what to watch, you just like kind of, it's in front of you. So you see what you can pick. You see what you'd want. Like on my end, like I have nights every month with my friends. We curate movies, and we call it VHS night. So we curate like 4 or 5 movies, and then I do like a little setup in my partner's garage. And we have like a little movie night with the VHS player.
That's so awesome.
And it was really funny because my friend was like, "Can you turn on the subtitles?"
Oh my god, that's me too. I like to read the subtitles, or what is it called, closed captioning. I love that. I love that. We like to read what they were saying, you know.
Yeah, but with tapes, there's no closed captioning.
Yeah, I still call it closed captioning, you know.
Yeah, it was just funny. I got a good chuckle on me. But yeah, I always love physical media. I'm like looking at my VHS stuff right now. I've been collecting tapes for about 2 years.
Oh wow!
And yeah, it's grown a lot, like a lot. And I have like a good mix of authentic tapes and then like bootleg custom tapes. Both from myself or from other artists. And I literally I have more ideas on tapes I want to create, and like I've been making compilation tapes. My last 3 tapes are compilation tapes. So like the Snick one, I did one of an old 90s cartoon called Gravedale High with Rick Moranis.
I'm trying to remember that.
One season, I forgot what channel it was on, but it was a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. They had, the only piece of merchandise they had was McDonald's toys, but I made a compilation tape because all the episodes are on YouTube.
Oh,
but
wow.
There's 3 episodes that are they're not in the playlist, so I had to track down those 3 episodes and then put it on the compilation tape. And then to really hammer home the compilation, I add Halloween advertisements from the 90s in between each episode.
Oh wow, that's so awesome. You're very creative.
Oh, thank you. I did also Monstober, which was a little after the VHS era, but that was my era of like Disney Channel Halloween shows and cartoons. So I created that tape recently, and that took a bit just because the episodes aren't available. Like they're on streaming, but I can't really download them, so I had to download them or like screen record them. So that took a bit longer. But then I also interluded them with advertisements from the 2010s, like Halloween advertisements. So I put like the Party City Thriller ad because I always remember seeing that.
Oh my god, that's so awesome.
Commercials. So I love making those compilation tapes. So I don't remember. I was gonna do Groovy Ghoulies, but Groovy Ghoulies already came out on tape, so I don't need to, and they're cheap. So I just bought the tape. But I hope to make more because those 2 were really fun to make.
Oh, that's oh my god, that's so awesome. Like you like to create it using VHS. I've noticed that on your social media page you use a lot of camcorders. Oh my god, that is absolute classic right there.
Thank you.
That's like, imagine if I were to see you record with a video camera, like, oh my god, that's awesome right there, because all of now is all with this right here, with your phone or with even your iPad, or even your watch, or even nowadays people are using the glasses, the Ray-Ban Mate, I believe it's called. Nah, I don't like it. I'm sorry. Like for me,
people that are amazed go through with them, and it's so funny because sometimes they like walk into the walls almost because they're so like focused on getting a good shot.
Ugh. And I remember like seeing this a lot in mazes and when people use it. Like I've seen on YouTube how they use the glasses when they go through mazes, either Halloween Horror Nights or Fright Fest or the 17th Door. Well, actually, 17th Door you're not allowed to film.
Yeah.
But the other places, even Not Scary Farm, people use their Meta glasses and they say, "Oh, I'm using my Meta glasses." Like, okay, that's cool, but it takes away like the I don't know how to say this, but with a video camera, you're using like this, your eye and you're focusing, all that stuff. That's right there. To me, that's peak filming. That's just me though.
Yeah, I love it. It's just bulky. That's like the downside, is that it's very bulky. I'm a bit crazy, like at horror nights or at events. Sometimes I bring all of my old cameras. So I'd bring my Polaroid, I'd bring my disposable and my camcorder. So I have to bring like a big backpack to fit everything. And then I always say security hates me. They hate to see me coming because I have to hand them my film cameras because the metal detectors, the film doesn't like metal detectors. So I have to hand them like a handful of cameras, and then they just kind of give me that look like, you're kind of crazy.
No, that first of all, it's Their job is to check. They're going to be judgmental. They're just stupid. You know, sometimes security, they're always making a big deal out of anything. You're just going to film. You're not going to do anything wrong. I don't know. It's just that right there really, really annoys me. Like security is just like, why are you carrying this? Like with this, like, dude, just, it has nothing wrong. This person's just going to film. Just get over yourself, you know. Just that right there. It's just like whenever I hear stuff like you think they're crazy. No, you're just passionate about what you do, Jax.
Thank you.
Simple. And when security is like that, it's just like, excuse my language, they can go fuck themselves, you know. I hate that, you know. No,
I know.
It's just,
make it through.
yeah. Look at this right here.
Oh wow.
This is an old school Sony DV cam. I think it's a 3CCD 12X. It's been a while since I used it. I just need to buy a new charger and a new battery right here. It records on these right here. Let me see if I could open it right here. No, it's let me see. It's been a while.
Is it the HI8 tapes?
Yeah, mini digital video camera cassette. I'm sorry. Let me see if I could open it. Let me like show you right here.
Yeah, mine is VHC, so it's like here. I'll grab it right now. It's like a. I think you've seen it. I brought it to work, but it's this one.
Oh my god, that's old school right there.
Yeah,
that's like one of the like I said, it's the best stuff you can have like right there. And like I said, it's just when security says they're looking at you like that, why are you making a big deal out of that? You know, if I would have been there and I see it like, dude, she's just doing something she likes, leave her alone. Yeah. I don't know. It's just like, why is security just always acting like that? And especially in parks, you're not going to do anything wrong. You're not bringing a bomb or anything like that. Ugh, you know.
No, it's just a camera, not a bomb.
Exactly, Jax. Ugh, like just get over yourself, like securities. But and like I've seen your social media, and I see how you film with the what is it, Five Nights at Freddy's at Halloween Horror Nights. I loved it. That was one of my favorite things to see there.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just so awesome. Just don't stop. Keep doing what you're doing, Jax, you know?
Thank you. It was funny because for the Horror Nights one, it was me and my two other friends took turns recording it. So because I was also handling my disposable camera.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I gave the camcorder to my two friends. And then so one of them filmed FNAF and the other one filmed, the first FNAF. We went there twice. I did the second time. And then my other friend did the Fallout house. So then it was really good. Actually, my friend did most of the mazes except for Monstros because, like I said, I was operating the
you didn't do Monstros?
We did. I was using another camera.
Oh, okay.
My friend filmed most of them, but I filmed it the second time we went. So we went twice, and I filmed all the houses the second time that we went on. We didn't film Terrifier just because I didn't care for Terrifier. Like we went through the maze just to like complete them all, but
yes, ma'am.
I just was not. I'm not a fan of Terrifier, so I didn't really feel like recording
Terrifier. I don't know. I don't have nor good things nor bad things about it. I'm just what they say indifferent about it. You're right about that. Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah,
but continue. Continue.
But yeah, but I love bringing the camcorder in. I think Horror Nights is the best of the haunts for the camcorder just because there's more light. They have more they have the flash with the jump scare, so it's easier to get shots. The only downside is it's kind of a rotation. So they jump scare you and then it waits a couple seconds, then it does it again. So, and since it's a conga line, you have to follow the pace of the conga line.
Yes.
So you are prone to miss certain scares, or it happens right as you get past them. And that's what I find a little bit annoying. Just as a guest, not really as a filming, but just as a guest, you're kind of just going, it's dark and you're just kind of waiting, and then you hear right as you pass the thing go off, and it's
I agree. I agree. I totally agree with you. So, when you're filming, I've seen when you're filming, sometimes you miss certain things like that. That's that's the reason you want to film, because you want to film the best part of the scares. Mm-hmm. Exactly. But in terms of with the Five Nights at Freddy, I seem to remember you told me one time that it was not entirely like the robots or for Five Nights at Freddy's was not really like with people. It was just like with mostly mechanics per se.
Yeah, the weird thing with both times I went on that maze, there was always something wrong with it. So the first time I went, the finale scare didn't go off, like with Springtrap. Like it had just broke. You see the person behind the puppet trying to fix it. So then like we didn't really get to see that scare. And then the second time we went, Bonnie's area wasn't working, so there's like this big like kind of caution tape around it.
Mm-hmm.
And then same thing, the spring trap wasn't also working, or the spring Bonnie scare wasn't working. So there's always like it's obviously not it's just the timer, you know, like the puppeteers, they just follow the timer. And some timers are shorter and some timers are longer than others, just so it gives them time to reset, especially with puppets since they're bigger. That's why other mazes, like the Scarecrow maze, it's like hit after hit after hit, because it's just like an actor popping out, whereas Five Nights at Freddy's, it's like puppets that have to go forward and reset, or like give the puppeteer kind of like time to breathe since they're pretty heavy.
Because like I know for a fact in terms of like with Five Nights at Freddy, it was always like an issue. Yes, you're not the first one. I heard about this all over social media. But how would you rate when you were filming the Five Nights at Freddy's in terms of out of 10? What would you give it? The maze.
I mean, as a guest, like going in to enjoy it, I really loved the maze. Filming it was just like, I guess, a bit of a pain just because of the whole time jump scares. So as a guest, I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. But as filming, I'd say like a 6 out of 10, just because some parts would be so slow. Like at the beginning, when you enter the maze, it would almost be at a standstill. And that animatronic was constantly moving. So it's not like you had to wait for the timer to go off. But then for some reason, it went like super fast in the like once you go through the maze, the line started going a lot faster.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to keep up with them because the crowd is so large. They want you to keep going like pretty fast. So then you kind of miss a couple stuff. But since I felt, I guess, like grateful that I at least was able to go on it twice. I know like the lines are so crazy where people can only go on it once and they had to wait like a super long time. So I'm just glad I got to experience it, honestly. Like there's tons and tons of videos on the maze. And like if I really wanted it on tape, I could just slap it on a VHS tape. And I'm just glad I have like footage of my own to call my own. I think the more like cheesier, or like the more, I guess, the cheesier, the more flaws a tape has, gives it more character.
Oh, that's actually no. I actually like all the stuff you're saying. It's also so creative. You're very creative in that and everything, how you're filming and all that stuff. Is that like the only video camera do you have?
That's the only camcorder I have, the Panasonic camcorder. I also have this like old Sony. I have this Sony digital camera from when I was younger.
Oh wow, that's you don't have the one where recorded on DVD?
I don't. I have a VHS one that my friend gave to me. It doesn't work. It's just like a cool prop. And then I have one that takes the one that you have, which is the HI8 tape. The battery does not work, and I can't find a replacement because it's like a very specific battery. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of have it, and then the VHS one just doesn't work. Like I got a battery that worked, but it just was dead. it was just too old.
Like the camera that I just showed you, the battery, I don't know, it's too old. The charger is like, I don't know. Like I said, we know when we always move, we always lose stuff. And I thought of getting rid of it, but then since what you're talking about, like physical media in terms of VHS is making a comeback, I said, nope, I'm going to keep it. But like I said, like as I was thinking, I need to update it. Like I need to update the battery. I need to update the, like a lot of things I need to update right now in terms of with this video camera. Mm-hmm. Because like you said, with digital, the one that you showed me, digital is good. But is it on like do you save it on like a little, what is that, small diskette or something like that?
It's just an SD card one.
Yeah, I'm sorry, SD card, I'm so sorry.
It's not super old. It's from just like the 2010s.
Well, kids nowadays, that's too old, because I remember hearing say, kids from the 1980s are dead. Like, really? I'm here alive and kicking still. But like do you would you like right now? I saw very recently on eBay. I think it was a Betamax player, cost $300 right now.
Wow.
I was like, what for a Betamax player? Are you serious? Like,
Yeah.
like how much?
Rarity. Like,
how much did you pay for your dual DVD VHS player?
oh gosh, not much. I got it on Facebook Marketplace for maybe like 25 to 30 bucks.
Well, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. That is not bad at all. But that's the beauty of a physical media right now. I'm actually glad that it's making a comeback. Let's see what the future holds for VHS or even DVDs or Blu-ray. Like I said, I thought it was just gonna stop for good, but since we're all heading back on like a nostalgia feeling, it's not fading away. And I'm glad that people like you, people like who are fans of like the old school stuff, are making it alive again. Mm-hmm. I'm actually grateful about that because, like I said, as I've said it once and I'll say it again, I'm not anti-digital. I just don't like that everything is like all in one thing. I don't know. I just like want to get like certain things like with a CD or certain things, but now it's like always all one phone. It's just there's no fun into it,
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah. I like how at least we have options. Like those physical items are still here. They're not like not entirely obsolete. They're still around. They're easier to find, like going to a thrift store or on Facebook Marketplace. Like they're not completely gone. Like in the sense of Betamax, where that one's more rare.
Betamax. If I could see, let me see how much a Betamax tape would cost here on eBay. Let me see.
I think we've only found like one Betamax tape in person before.
Let me see. Betamax. I'm gonna put Scarface for Betamax. Scarface. Oh wow! You're not gonna believe this. It's well, actually, this is this is a Betamax. Scarface for Betamax for not VHS. $50 plus $45 with coupon plus $12.50 for the shipping, which is like $60+. Would you say that's still pretty expensive?
I mean, I'm not sure how I guess much Betamaxes would normally cost, but not as bad as I thought.
Let me see. Which give me a movie title so I could look at
it. Forbidden Planet.
Forbidden Planet. Forbidden Planet on VHS. Its seal, it still says 1995, but it's $60 or best offer. But with coupon, it's $54.99 plus $5.83 shipping.
Did you filter it to like lowest to highest?
No, it's just like on eBay. It's just like the normal price. On
eBay you can filter it because that could just be like the first thing that pops up.
Let me see price from lowest. Doesn't really say here. Let's find. But the majority of the movies are here. Are like it won't like the lowest is $45, and the highest. Look at this one right here. It's called Horror Planet. It's $20 on beta, which is not bad for was like plus $4.47 shipping, which is like $24.47 plus tax and everything, which is not bad. But
it's just a movie and like how much people want it on its own on the different physical formats. Like obviously Star Wars, you said was pretty expensive.
Let me see. Let me check it out right now. Betamax. Whoa. Whoa. This is just the original one. Star Wars on Betamax. Never released. It says here 1984 beta rare. $325.
Wow.
For free shipping. And I was like, whoa. It's like CBS Fox at that time. That's beta. It's just like it like you mentioned, it also depends on the movie title. That's a different story. But look at this one right here, Return of the Jedi on beta, $23.99. Still reasonable, plus $4.47 shipping.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah,
I guess it's not as, I guch obsolete as I thought it was. Probably just because I hadn't seen it. Like, I see VHS tapes a lot more than Betamax.
Betamax was a lot of historic like historians consider Betamax like a failure. I think it was advanced for its time, but it was too expensive. Just like when they released Blu-ray, oh my god, it was so expensive. Like the first Blu-ray player was like $1,000, and even when they released the PlayStation 3, it was also a Blu-ray player. At that time, $600 was an obscenity. Like nobody was going to pay for that. You know, the technology was way too new. You know.
Yeah.
But, you know, let's see what happens right now in the future, what the future holds for physical media. All I can say is that I am extremely happy that it's making a huge comeback. Hopefully it does again with since it's making with vinyl. I hope it does with CD. So what would you say your final words would be in terms of physical media?
Buy physical media.
Exactly. We should all buy physical media. So everybody, that about wraps up for this week's interview. I would like to say thank you, Jax, for appearing on my show. I really appreciate it. And if people want to look her up, you can just plug in your stuff, ma'am.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me. My Instagram is R2Arts, which spells RTWOARTS. That's my Instagram. And then you can find all the other stuff I do on the gram.
Thank you. And if people you want to hear me, you can find me on Apple Podcasts, Spotify for creators. You can find me on iHeartRadio. You can find me on YouTube. And if you like this, go to my YouTube, Talk with Antonio. Click the link below. Click the button to subscribe. And if you like it, please like the video. So I'd like to say thank you all for listening. And you have a great evening. And thank you once again, Jax, for appearing on my show.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.